Hello, good evening, and we're back. Oh yes, we're back live. I tell you what, I did one show that was really quick with Mark Memphis. We were talking about mental health and anxiety. Thank you very much for enjoying, really enjoying that because everything. It seems today that anxiety is the main cause today, so it's been really, really good. Right, okay, we got Emily back. She's been in her rocking chair for the
Yeah.
last half an hour, rocking away there.
Yep. Just waiting.
Yeah, she is waiting. She is waiting. Yeah, okay. So, thank you very much for joining us. And I can see everybody's getting back on again. So, there you go. I'm going to just flab around a bit and let everybody get on quick. Don't forget, guys, we've got more people on tomorrow, more guests and everything. And please join us then. And at the weekend, don't forget, we got really, really special guests. Oh, by the way, we have got the singing vicar back tomorrow. Father Kelly, who was on Britain Got Talent, he's on tomorrow. Don't forget. Thank you. So, Emily, earlier on, we are talking about anxiety. We were talking about different other things as well. And you were bringing a question up about that being perfect, that you think you're perfect.
Yeah, I think everybody is. I think we all are. I don't.
What?
I think that we are enough, and we have intrinsic worthiness, and that we don't need to be fixed.
Okay, so Claire is the first one. Hi, Claire. Welcome.
Hi,
Claire
Claire.
wants Claire wants to know, Emily. Uh, I thought that only perfect person in this old universe is God Himself. We are not perfect. No one is perfect because we all make mistakes. Does Emily think she is perfect? Um, well, I will hand you over to her. Do you think you're
Yeah.
perfect?
No, Claire. That's a great point. When I say that we're perfect, I say that sort of tongue in cheek, and I say that within the sense that if we can be in a space of being gentle with ourselves and feeling like we don't need to fix ourselves, that we're doing our best always. And I also believe that I look at other people and I believe that they're also trying to do their best. And it might not look like the best to us, but at the same time, my understanding and my belief is that everyone is trying their best with the resources they have at the time, with their capacity that they have at the time, with the knowledge they have at the time, based on their belief system, their past, the things that they struggle with, whether they have anxiety or different things like that. That everyone is doing their best. So when I say that someone is perfect, I basically just mean that if we can be in a space where we are honoring ourselves and other people and not trying to fix ourselves and be down on ourselves when we do something wrong, when we make a mistake, if we look at that instead as, oh, that's a learning experience, I can learn from that. Yeah, maybe I did make a mistake, but maybe I can look at it a different way and say, well, now I know more than I did before. You know, that whole idea of like hindsight's 2020. Like we always know the best thing to do after it's already happened, but just being gracious with ourselves. And what I say is just being gentle with ourselves and others. So I
Well done.
I
Well
I do
done.
understand because I am a recovering perfectionist. So I do understand that whole I there's a lot of there's a lot in that word perfection and perfect that
Yeah.
I'm glad I
Have
got
you?
to unpack
But
a little bit.
I bet you in your lifetime you've made a lot of mistakes, haven't you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And the thing about it is that because I was requiring myself to be perfect, and a lot of it was I was trying to be perfect to make things easier for my mom and my dad so that they didn't have to deal with me being a bad kid or getting bad grades or whatever, things like that.
Oh,
So I was really, really hard on myself. And that actually made me sick physically and
mm,
mentally because I was so hard. Yeah, so
right.
now when I make mistakes, I really say, you know, I did my best, and I look at it as a learning experience.
Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That was well said. Um, so there you go. Richard. Hi, Steve. I love it. I love it. Is Emily your new agony aunt? Yeah, that's a that's really good. That's really good. We could have an agony aunt. Yeah. Yeah. She might have to wear a wig and grow old gracefully, but you know.
I have some gray hair, and I mean, I do have gray hair, so I could.
No, no, no. She's not on your agony aunt. No. Um. Okay. What else we got? Bev. Oh. Hi, Emily. Thank you very much for coming on to Steve's show. Thank you very much. Um. Nice seeing you once again. Could you tell me about your anxiety a little bit? Because I'm suffering with anxiety at the moment. I've got 4 children, and they do get on my nerves now and again. I feel like walking out, and don't know what to do. Any suggestions?
Yeah. I didn't have 4 children. I had 2. So I can imagine 4 is a different experience. But I did have anxiety to the extent that my body shut down um, about 5 years ago, and it really, I struggled for about 6 months to really bring myself up out of that. And what I will share with you is something that worked for me in dealing with my anxiety is what I call mindfulness. And I believe that mindfulness is present moment awareness. And so what I do is something really simple, and I did it with Steve last week, is you sit quietly. So if you could find a space where you could like remove yourself. So for first of all, that was a big thing for me. It was just if I was feeling very heightened in my anxiety, see if I could remove myself, even just for a few moments, even to the bathroom, lock the door, whatever. Or even to go outside, or just something to remove myself from the situation that's causing me the anxiety. Because it could be a situation, it could also be your thoughts that you're having is creating the anxiety. It can be both. It can be a lot of different things. But removing yourself and doing what I call conscious breathing, where you're just breathing naturally. And if you want, you can close your eyes and you just inhale and exhale. And what you can do is you can just count your breaths. Inhale and you count 1, exhale, count 2, inhale, count 3, and then you can do that up to the count of 10 and to see if that gives you any sort of relief. It actually is proven scientifically that it does calm down our parasympathetic nervous system. So the conscious breathing does work.
Well,
And
I did it last week, and I really enjoyed it.
it
So
worked. It helped, right? You felt
yeah, it
something
really
different.
helped.
You
Yeah,
felt
yeah.
different. Yeah. And
So,
so I came upon that just naturally. Through my experience, because when I was really not able to get out of bed, um, I kind of found myself in this space just sitting and breathing, and I realized that it was actually helping alleviate. And then, so that was my experience. And then I started to research it a little bit, and I realized there was something to it. And I do want to mention that I have a process that I called Be the Moment, and it's 7 steps. And we talked about it a little bit, Steve, that we were thinking about doing it next week. I do want to let you know that it's actually available right now for free. Actually, today's the last day. Um, if you want to go to my website, do you want me to tell them my website?
yeah, yeah. Carry on. Go on.
Sure. It's EmilieRawlings.com. It's EMILIE. So it's not a Y, it's IE. Rawlings, RAWLINGS.com. And it's called Be the Moment Process. And it's a guided mindfulness practice. And it takes you through 7 steps, one of which is with the breath. So that's one of the steps. And these are just the steps that I found that worked for me to help give me some immediate relief from my feelings of anxiety. So I hope that that helps.
Brilliant. Thank you. Um, Hi, Jonah. Hi. Hi, Steve. Would it be possible if Emily comes back regularly, or who is filling what spots? Yes, we have given Emily a regular spot. Um, What else we got? Oh, Louise. Oh, hello. Hi, Louise. Thank you very much. Louise is saying, "Hi, Emily. How do you cope? Because I had the same problem as you. Couldn't get out of bed for about 4 weeks. I was in bed, feeling really depressed, feeling down and everything. Sometimes my husband had to give me food and everything because I didn't want food. He managed to kind of like cook me some food, but then I made myself sick. I was feeling really low. I feel that my relationship was going to come to an end because I was in the wrong place. It was nothing to do with my husband. It was to do with other things that was going on in my life. For the past, i.e., sexual abuse, and my ex-husband was hitting me about being violent. Yes. Um, what do you think about that?
Well, there's a lot there. Yeah, I'm sorry that you're struggling. For me, I one of the things that was really important was that I reached out to talk to people and to get help. And so that would be the main thing that I would say to you is if you are feeling that way, and it sounds like you are, to reach out to someone that can help you. And sometimes we don't have the ability to do that. And so what I have had to do too is to tell like someone close to me, say, I need help, but I'm not able to reach out. Can you help me get
Yeah,
help?
yeah,
Can you help? Can you be an advocate for me? Because I'm not able to advocate for myself right now. Um, and and so that's the first thing that I would say. And the next thing would be that comes to me with what Steve is sharing about what you wrote is a lot of times can get stuck in these really negative thought patterns, and I call it sort of like a runaway train that just takes you, and you go down this path of thoughts that are not helpful. And I
mm,
actually was diagnosed with OCD of negative thought patterns. So I don't know if you've heard of that, but very often people are familiar with OCD, like behaviorally, if like you're washing your hands, and that's a good example. Things like that, locking a door, turning off the oven, like those types of things. You can
cleaning.
actually.
Is that cleaning as well?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. So cleaning. So anything that's like an obsessive compulsive behavior that you're not able to stop. But most often people are familiar with the external ones, but there's actually internal ones, and one of them is of negative thought patterns. So we don't seem to have the mechanism that shuts off the thought pattern.
mm,
So actually, that was a big piece of my recovery from anxiety, and that's why I'm bringing it up right now. Is because, and that's actually part of my be the moment process. Is finding a space and learning how to not be controlled by our thoughts, but be an observer of the thoughts. And it's a very subtle shift. But the thing that's amazing is that we have about 60 or 70,000 thoughts a day. That's how many thoughts we have. And really for most of us, they're predominantly negative. And so if we can find a way to not be run by them and controlled by them, but can create a space, and this is part of my be the moment process, like I said, create a space where we step back and we can recognize a thought when it comes up as its own thing. And I actually like see it as a little thought bubble. So I'll see it like come up, and and the beauty of that, if once you, it is a practice, so don't get discouraged if right away it's challenging for you, because it is, because we have 60 or 70,000 thoughts a day. So it can be challenging, but recognizing that you have a choice of whether or not you want to accept and believe a thought or not. And so what I'll do is I'll sit and breathe, and then I'll play a little game with my thoughts. And then I'll decide, do I want to give that thought the time of day? Do I not? Do I want to ignore it? Do I want to acknowledge it? Do I want to believe it? I was in a space where I truly believed every single thought that I had. I thought it was truth. I thought it was fact. And because most of my thoughts were negative, it was really affecting me. And so when I realized I had a choice, and I still have to work on it, it's still a thing that I have to work on, but at least I know now that I have a choice, what I choosing to believe or not believe or react to or not to react to. So hopefully that helps a little bit. But I would say, see if you're not able to advocate for yourself, then see if there's someone in your life that can help you. If you feel like you need the support to talk to someone.
We're very lucky on here because we've got two counsellors. And so we got Beth Penfold and we got Susan Lee, and they're both really good counsellors. So what we'll do, we will get you in contact with them and we'll get you some help.
Perfect.
So that's brilliant. Russell wants to know, hi Steve, thank you very much for your program. Thank you very much. Would it be possible we can ask Emily a question, please? If I, how long was she suffering with anxiety for until she knew that she had a problem? Good question.
Oh, hi Russell, great question. Honestly, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder 5 years ago, and I tried to trace it back as long as I could remember, and I started to see signs of anxiety probably when I was about 10. So, and I was 45 when I was diagnosed. So it was about 35 years of having anxiety and not really knowing and not really having the tools to cope with it very well yet. That happened for me in the last 5 years.
Gosh. Does that answer your question? Thank you. There you go. Oh, here we go. Hi, Steve. I'm pregnant. Um, and I'm in my last month of pregnancy. Congratulations. The doctors told me I'm expecting a girl. My husband wanted a boy. The trouble is at the moment is really, really getting me down because of the pressures and stuff. What should I do? I'm really getting bad sight. I felt like walking out yesterday, and we always have arguments. I'm not an agony aunt. What can I say?
I didn't really understand what she was asking.
Well, she was just asking how is she going to cope because she's in her last month of pregnancy, and the
Mm-hmm.
trouble is, her husband's putting pressure on her, and she's suffering with anxiety. How is she going to cope from it?
Yeah. Well, congratulations. That's a beautiful thing. It's a big change for sure. Is it? I wonder if it's her first child. I was quite anxious with my first child.
Yeah, it's her first year.
Yeah. There's just so many unknowns, and we feel, there's so much responsibility and all of those things. And what I've come to find out and learn, what I believe is that we aren't able to control anyone else and what they're going to do as far as what their thoughts are, what their opinions are about certain things,
Mm, mm,
those types of things. And so that actually helped me in my marriage. I got to the point where um, I was we were in a bad spot. We've been married 30 years now, and we were in a pretty bad spot, basically, where I was
30
sick.
years.
30, yep, this year. Yeah, and it was basically like either we get a counselor or I'm out of here, was sort of what I said. And so we were in that situation, and I did a lot of soul searching, and this was part of my whole process that I went through in the last 5 years. I know I'm being kind of roundabout about this, but what I realized was that what I really wanted from my husband, and I can only speak for myself, I can't speak for you, but maybe this will help you somehow, that I really needed him to let me be me and do what I needed to do and learn what I needed to learn and grow and all those things on my own terms. And what I realized was that I wasn't allowing him that same opportunity. So whether or not I agreed with what he was doing or saying whatever, like sometimes I'm just like, oh my gosh, like what are you doing? You're driving me crazy. Um, so I tried to be in a space where I realized that I couldn't control him or change him or do anything. And he was going to do what he was going to do and learn how he was going to learn and be how he was going to be. And what actually ended up happening was it took a huge weight off of me because I no longer was responsible and I no longer felt like I needed to change him. That I became, rather than dependent on him changing to make me feel better, I learned that I could find ways to do things to make myself feel better. So I empowered myself. So I had actually, this is reminding me of what happened to me. I felt trapped. I was on my bathroom floor crying because we were not getting along and he was not listening to me and I couldn't make him see and I couldn't make him change. And I was so frustrated that I was on my bathroom floor crying. And so I realized in that moment, very often for me, I have these like moments. So it's just how things work for me. But I realized in that moment, okay, I can continue this way, feeling like this and living this way. But part of me was like, I can't. It's too painful. I can't continue in this place. So then I thought, okay, so that means I have to do something different because that thing isn't working.
Yeah.
And so I empowered myself. So I thought, okay, what do I need and how can I fulfill that for myself? And sometimes I would, and another piece of that is I didn't even know what I needed. That was the point. I was just struggling and I didn't really know what I needed. So I took some time to really check in with myself and be going back to the present moment and breathing and asking myself, Emilie, what do you need right now in this moment? What do you need? And I actually learned how to listen to myself and hear myself and understand what I needed. And very often it was very small, simple things. And so basically empowering myself to be okay and to learn how to take care of myself and not requiring other people and needing other people and depending on other people to be certain ways and do certain things. And the most amazing thing happened. I'll give you the final happy ending is that freed up my husband. I wasn't depending on him anymore and like writing him and making him want to change or forcing him to change and forcing him to be things he didn't want to be able to. And it allowed him to evolve and change on his own terms. And our marriage has been healed because we both allowed each other to be and learn what we needed to be and learn. Um, that's a long answer to your question, but hopefully that helps a little bit.
Does that help? Good, good, good. I think the trouble is, speaking from a man's point of view, um, I think the trouble is that because I remember when we first had my first one, we kind of like I was very protected over my wife,
Mm-hmm.
because us men are when our ladies are pregnant. And the trouble is, I was so protective, and I was kind of like saying, "Don't do this, don't do that." She only had to get on a chair and or clean a lamp or a bulb or whatever she had to do. I remember coming in one day and she was on a ladder doing something, painting. And she was in a couple of months of her pregnancy, and I
Yeah.
made sure that she got off that ladder, and got off. But the trouble is, in a relationship, I think you've got a give and take situation where. But the trouble is, because it's your first child, he's getting all these it's excitement, and it's building up for him, and he's kind of like but he will get over that. All you got to do when the baby's born, just say to him, "Hey, darling, you change the nappies." Then you'll see how he goes then. You know?
Yeah. I like that a lot because that's a good point, because we only know where we're coming from in our own perspective. We don't understand fully another person's perspective and how things might appear. You were worried about your wife, and so it looked maybe like you were trying to be controlling. Maybe, I don't know. And I can see. Well, you know what I'm saying. Like my husband would
Are
be the
you
same.
saying are you saying that I'm controlling?
Nope. Nope, I'm not. But it can be, but we can misinterpret
Yeah.
things sometimes, and it's coming from a good place, but maybe we don't understand, and maybe it's not being communicated very well, or maybe
Yeah.
we're also scared, and so we're not seeing it
Mm,
clearly. So there's, oh my gosh,
mm,
there's so many things. So if we can like really try to honor ourselves, knowing that we're trying to do our best, and that the other person's also trying to do their best, that we might not understand, but they're trying to do their best, then for me, that can really be helpful.
mm. Thank you very much. The trouble is, so see, us men, right? We kind of like we are very protective over our wives or our partners and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the trouble is, well, and the trouble is, especially when people, when they are pregnant or they're ill or whatever. I kind of like my wife is when they go up the shop, and the first thing I'll tell her is, please be careful.
Right.
I say it all the time. Please be careful, because you never know. You never know. And the trouble is with yeah, but the trouble is when someone is pregnant, and it's your first one. I remember I was so excited. It was unbelievable. But when the baby was born, they said to me, "Sorry, I used to be up there the following morning around about 10 o'clock in the morning. Went to see my daughter and everything, but couldn't see my daughter because they said no, no, they're resting and the ward's not open until 2:30." And I'm thinking, what? And I was so excited, and
Oh,
you know, and I had to wait around, until around about 2:30. To me, it was a really long, long day. But what I'm trying to say to you is, you know, give it time. I think when the babies come along, I
mhm.
think everything will calm down, and the controlling, it's like a puppet in it, puppet on the string, and I think at the moment he's just trying to protect you and everything. I
I
reckon.
think so. Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
comes from a good place.
yeah. But he'll be all right in a minute. You know what us men are like. We're a bit of a pain in the backside sometimes.
You said
Um,
it, not me.
yeah, yeah. 30 years of marriage. Well, congratulations. You know, I,
Congratulations.
I don't know how you do it for 30 years of marriage. Gosh. Yes. I feel
Oh,
like.
it's been hard work. That's for sure.
Oh yes, yes, yeah. Here we go. I Steve been married now for 2 years. Well done. Yeah, I've been. How long have you been married for? Oh, how long have I been married for? I haven't been married that long to like Emily, because Emily's been married for 8 years. I've been married now for it's been about my 8th year this year, I think. Yeah. Um,
Nice.
so, yeah. So I'll be, yeah, 8 years. Yeah, and I still love my wife today.
Oh, I love
So
it.
yeah, there you go. And but tomorrow will be a different matter. Anyway.
I hear her talking in the background.
Yeah, she's telling me. She's telling me. Yeah, you can hear her talking in the background. Yeah. Um, here we go. Quick. Lisa wants to know. Hi, Steve. Thank you. How are you? Thank you very much. Love your radio. Love all what you do about the podcast, and I love all your people and your guests. Thank you very much. Is Emily here to stay? Well, she's been offered to come on a weekly basis, so because we had a big response about her the other week, so we thought we'll ask her back. Um, and here she is.
You're
So
stuck with me, Lisa, for a while.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Speak till next week, I think. Um,
Well, wait,
well,
we'll see how it goes tonight. We'll see. Well, it's up
yeah,
to Steve.
yeah. See how we get on with each other. Yeah. Um, do you ever, Steve? Do you have any arguments with your guests or your presenters? No, we don't. That's not the policy here. We don't do that. Especially if we have like a co-presenter or like, cause say like Emily, me and Emily was having a discussion about something, then we kind of like we can't not do that. We could have our, our disagreements about different things, but I think we don't go into that. No. Um, I Steve, I see that you're number two at the moment in the charts. Well done. Out of 7,000. Well done, Steve. Well done. Well done. Well done. Oh, I love Emily. She's brilliant. 30 years marriage. I only been married for 6 months. That is enough. Feel like shooting them. Uh,
Oh my
Emily, how have you coped for 30 years? Has it been really tough? Because sometimes marriage can be really tough be, and I'm not surprised that you are a bit anxious sometimes.
Oh man, that's a good question. It's also a big question. Um, yeah, married for 30 years. And the thing about it was we got together when we were 16. And so
16.
yeah, we started dating when we were 16. And so we really also had to grow up together, which I believe, has its own challenges because you're changing so much in like between 16 years old and like 21, 22, right in there.
So was
Um,
he your first love then, was he?
yeah, yep,
Oh,
that was it. I was done. Um, I'll go back to what I said earlier, and I really think because Arthur and that's my husband's name, Arthur. We talk about it a lot because we not only are still married, but we really like each other, and so but it was hard fought. So it was hard work. I don't want to say hard. I want to say constant attention and work to our marriage and to our relationship. So I always thought of our relationship was its own entity that needed to be nurtured and loved and cared for. So, and that is our marriage. That is the thing. And the other piece that I'll share is um, if if the key for us was to allow the other person to grow and do what they needed to do and be what they needed to be, and honor that and allow that. And we didn't always do that, but when we started to do that, things really changed for us. So I wasn't needing him to change and needing him to do things and needing him to all these things. Like it was a whole idea of, do I need somebody else to be different for me to feel good? And I made a decision that was very, very full of anxiety for me. And that was a road that I didn't like. I went down that road and I didn't like it. I ended up crying on my bathroom floor, trying to change him. That didn't work. And so once I let that go and I realized it's okay, I can be okay in myself, and I empowered myself to take care of myself, um, then our relationship changed. And so for me, it's really just allowing the other person to be what they need to be.
good.
And
Well done. Well done.
yeah,
Okay, guys, 5 minutes left. I'm sorry,
five
but
minutes.
5 minutes. What else we got? Um, I, Steve. When are you? Have a look on the website. Don't forget www.stephenmichelbeard.co.uk. You see everything on there. Then, Steve, do you have a podcast? No, do you have a website for the show, please? We do crossroads.co.uk. All the information about all our co-presenters, even Emily, she is she is on there now on the website. She's got a nice picture on there and about all the information about her book. All our links are on there. So go and have a look if
Great.
you need to get the book and everything. She's on there. What else we got? I am looking forward to next week because those breathing techniques are definitely needed at this moment in time. Really good. We should you should do that, Steve, every month. Do a technique because we all need it to calm down sometimes after going through a busy day at work. Um, Emily, thank you very much. You're a star. Been really, really good to get to know you. I watch out for Steve. Could be a pain in the butt,
I
but
already figured that out.
we all love him. We all love him here. Um, I, Steve, would it be possible if you can kind of send us some information about your podcast and the TV, radio, podcast, and TV channel you are? Uh, we haven't got a TV channel. We got a podcast, but it's not really. It's not like a podcast. It's like a kind of like live podcast where we. This is what it is. Um, but we do have like our own radio station too. So, but it's joint in together. What else is there? Oh, Steve. Thank you very much. I hear that you've been going now for 12 months. Number two in the podcast charts. That is brilliant. Well done. Any chance of we can sponsor you? Yeah, please contact me on my website if you're interested. That's not a problem. I think we got two presenters that need sponsoring at the moment. Actually, one of them has just joined us, Emily, so she'll be needing a sponsor. So Emily's really good, so sponsor her. What else? Oh, where can I get your book to, Emily? Tell them
Yes.
about your website.
Sure. Yeah. It's my website is my name. It's emilierawlings.com. And you can pre-register for my book right now. My book is called Foundation. And when you register, you'll also get the companion meditations that come with it. You'll get that for free. So pre-register there on my website. You can see my name down below. I think they can see that, right, Steve?
Yeah, they can. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
And you can also get my Be the Moment process there. It's free through tonight, through today. So
Yes.
that's free for
So
now.
yes. So guys in the UK, you got around about an hour and 20 minutes to go and get it for free. I don't know what time it is. What time is it where you are?
I don't know. I think it's about 6, but that's okay. I'll keep it. I'll keep it open for a few more hours.
Well, there you go. She's going to keep it open for another few
Yeah.
hours.
So you all can make sure to get it.
Yeah, make sure you get it. Yeah, it's all free. But don't
It's
forget,
free.
guys, I always say this to everybody, all my presenters and all my people who does it. You won't believe this, but it's true that I have got around about 12 people who's helping me. And none of us get paid. None of us, Emily doesn't get paid, nothing like that. We all don't get paid. Um, and what usually happens is when a sponsor us, we do get like kind of like now and again like vouchers for shops and stuff like that, but we don't get paid at all. We all what we want to do this channel is to help people who and that's why we have different people on each day talking about different subjects, and I hope it helps everybody. Right, okay, last couple of questions quick. Emily, about your book, can I get it on Amazon?
Yeah. Actually, it's going to be available on Amazon. I believe UK. It should be. Yep. Yeah, and actually, it's a workbook. So what I mean by that is you'll have a chapter. There's only 7 chapters. I made it so it's super easy to do and doesn't take a lot of time because I figured if somebody's having anxiety and is feeling overwhelmed and needs relief, they're not going to want to read a big huge book.
No,
That's going to
no,
be too
no.
much. So this is like
Emily,
little bite-sized
how much is your
pieces.
book?
How much is it? In the US it's 19.99. So I don't know how much it is in the UK.
Right.
But
Nine,
the reason why I like to have people pre-register is because if you do that, you'll also get the companion meditation album. It it works together with the meditation, so you'll get
yeah,
that
sure.
for
Yeah,
free as a
yeah.
gift from me. Yeah.
Gosh, there you go. And if you'd be nice to her, she might, if you pre-book it as well, she might even sign it for you. How about that? Then in around
Oh.
about 200 years' time, it might come a bit, you can sell it then. Sell it off.
Well, We'll see if I can figure out the logistics of that.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I've got to go. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. And
Thanks, Steve.
Emily, thank you.
Thanks,
and
everybody.
See you next week. Stay in touch. In the meantime, guys, I've got to go. Till tomorrow. Love you all, and by the way, stay safe. Bye bye. And cut.